One of the stickers went rogue. Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name's Nicole and I make content on self-care, books, and all things cozy lifestyle. And it's been a really long time since I've sat down and filmed something, but I'm just really excited and happy to be here with you all today. I hope you guys are all having a really wonderful summer so far. I actually got back from a recent vacation to a small little town in the Washington Mountains called Leavenworth, and I talked about Leavenworth in my last video. Leavenworth is such a beautiful and magical town that's nestled against the trees and the mountains, and I had such a wonderful time visiting with my husband and my dog Rose. Pasta. Ever since I got back from Leavenworth, I have just been in a really bad reading slump, and I think part of that is anytime I get back from a trip or a vacation, it always takes me some time to get back into my routines and to just decompress. I tend to get pretty overstimulated being in new environments, and I just need a lot more downtime when I get back to start feeling like myself again. And I won't get into too many details, but I have taken a little break from YouTube because I had this medical procedure done, and honestly it left me in a lot of pain, and I just couldn't really move for a couple of days. And since I couldn't move, I couldn't really do much, and I think not being able to do anything made me feel really sad, and just my mood was all over the place. So I'm finally starting to feel better and more like myself. So I'm just really happy to be back and film this video for you guys. I have some new books I want to show you, some stationery, because you all know how much I love stationery and journaling. And I'm also going to try to get excited about reading again in this video. I want to show you all the books that I've been reading, and I've been saving these 2 boxes to open with you all on camera. I've talked about Book of the Month so many times on this channel, and I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but I have been using them since last year, and I just love getting a new book every single month that I get to pick from, and it's just been really fun building up my collection again. So I have 2 new books that I want to show you all today. So I'm just going to go ahead and open them and show you all what I got. I forgot to bring scissors with me, so we're just gonna have to pull at it a little bit. Oops. This is definitely not the best way to open a book. So there we go. I did it. So this is the first book that I got. This is The Wedding People, and I'm going to talk about this in a sec, but let me open the other one too. Ooh, this one is really big. This is a lot more pages than the other one. So this is The God of the Woods by Liz Moore, and it is so beautiful. I love this cover. So which one should I talk about first? I think we'll talk about The God of the Woods, because I think this was a July pick. I've been a little out of the loop with new releases, but this is a mystery about a young girl who goes missing from her family's summer camp 13 years after her older brother went missing. So I picked this book because I like mysteries and I figured it'd be a really nice summer read. I mean, summer's almost over, but that's okay. I think we can still read it. And I also picked it because I just really liked the cover too. So, you know how they say not to judge a book by its cover? Well, I definitely judged this book, and when I saw it, I was like, I need to have this book. This next book I'm also really excited about, and this is The Wedding People by Alison Espach. I hope I'm saying that right, but this is a literary fiction about a woman who travels to this really beautiful hotel, I think, in some remote destination. So she ends up being the only person there who's not actually part of the wedding or a wedding guest. She ends up becoming friends with the bride, and I guess they end up confiding in each other. Just like the other book, I chose this because I also really liked the cover. It got really good reviews. I like literary fiction. So I did read a mini spoiler on this book. So there are some trigger warnings. If you are sensitive to certain topics, then I would definitely do a little research and look up the trigger warnings just to make sure that this book is going to be, you know, appropriate for you and something that isn't going to be too upsetting. But I'm okay with that. So I'm still looking forward to reading this, even though there are some trigger warnings in here. So I have been using Sticky Club for the past couple of months now, and again, not sponsored, but I just genuinely love these products that I'm showing you all in case you're in the market for some new stationery and new stickers. So Sticky Club is a sticker subscription service, and there are 3 different types that you can get. There's the cute pack, the vintage pack, and the pop pack. I'm actually going to show you all the cute pack today because I think I showed the vintage pack last time. So let's open her up and see what's inside. They come in these little 6-ring binder holders, so you can put them in a 6-ring binder if you want to keep everything organized, which I love things when they're organized. And this one's theme is Alice in Wonderland, and I thought it was just so whimsical and cute. Not something I would typically go for myself, but I like having a variety. This is really pretty. It's some sort of like holographic card and a matching envelope as well. It kind of reminds me of something I would get at Sanrio when I was a little kid and how excited I would get about those things. So inside it's just blank, but on the outside you get this really beautiful like holographic finish. It kind of reminds me of those like little special edition Pokemon cards that you could get with the rare types of Pokemon. Let's see what stickers came in it with this month. So I think you get 6 or 7 sticker packs, and this is the first one that I'll show you guys. Look at that, so cute. Look at all of those little animals. I think these are bunny rabbits maybe. We've also got these small stickers, which I personally really love stickers that are this size, tiny little stickers, especially if you want to do a journaling spread where it's more minimal and you want the text to stand out some more and you just want little accent sheets. I think this would come in super handy. We also have some more holographic stickers, and they have little animals on them too, with the Alice in Wonderland theme, of course. Next we have, oh my gosh, these are so pretty. So the artist who drew these was Cat Soul. Got a little Cheshire cat here. Growing up, that was actually one of my favorite scenes. I don't know about you all, but when I would watch movies back in the day, I would have to actually put in like a VHS, and if I wanted to rewatch something, I would have to physically rewind it. And I think that was like my most replayed part of this movie was the Cheshire cat. I thought it was just kind of like creepy and weird how you would just see this big smile and then the Cheshire cat would like appear out of nowhere. We've got a couple more stickers here. This is about the Queen of Hearts. I forgot to mention, if you don't want the entire sticker pack and you just want like one sticker sheet, then you can also buy them individually. I think they're more expensive if you do it that way, but if you only want like one, then you're still saving money because the subscription pack is, I think it's $12.99 a month. I'll have to double check that. But the sticker sheets individually, I think are like $3 to $4, so you can just pick the ones that you like. And I love the patterns in here as well. They're very whimsical. Oh my gosh, look at this one. This one's kind of like groovy looking. I like that very much. And the last sticker sheet it came with are these right here. This is by Shand Studio Art, and I really love the kawaii or like the cute style that they've illustrated this in. You've got those like little flowers with faces. There was a scene in Alice in the Wonderland where I think Alice is amongst all these different flowers and they sing, and I also remember that being one of my favorite scenes to watch. I'm really excited that I have these this month. Like I said, this isn't my normal journaling style. I wouldn't typically go for these stickers, but there's just something nostalgic about them that makes me feel like a little kid all over again. Really excited to use these. I probably won't do a journal spread today, but if you guys are interested in seeing a journal spread using these sticker sheets, or any of them really, let me know in the comments down below and I can definitely film a video for you all. Oh no, one of the stickers went rogue. Oh, there it goes. Sorry friends, my battery died, so it's a little out of frame. That's probably why. But I left off on showing you guys this little notepad that it came with, and I've been really loving these notepads. They're just so cute, and of course, they're just really handy, especially just keeping them on my desk whenever I need to jot anything down. I think I'm especially fond of this one because it has all of these roses, which is my dog's name, Rose, so I'm like a rose fanatic. So the last time I did a reading vlog feels like forever ago, and since then, honestly, I've only read 2 books. Usually I read about 4 to 5 on average since I started reading again, but for some reason, I just haven't been really reading as much. I also think that the pace that I was going at probably just wasn't very sustainable for me. Being on BookTube, sometimes you can't help but feel like you need to read just as much as everyone else is, but I find that that's kind of taking away from the joy of it, and it made me think about why I even got into BookTube or YouTube in the first place, and it really was just to find a community of people who loved reading books and to share all the things that I know from self-care, from my years of experience, and just wanting it to be a fun, cozy, relaxing little space on the internet for other people, and also a creative outlet for myself. What I really love about reading is just being transported to new places, new worlds, new stories, and I think I lost a little bit of that magic getting caught up in all the BookTube stuff, but I want to encourage any of you out there who are booktubers, watch BookTube, and if you feel like you're not doing enough, you're not reading enough, then I want you to challenge that and ask yourself, like, where are those expectations coming from? Are they coming from a place of growth because you want to read more things, you want to learn more things, and it's coming from a place of self-compassion? Or is it coming from a critical place of thinking that like your self-worth is attached to what you do, you know, like your output or your productivity? And I think that for a while I did get a little caught up in that, thinking that I needed to do more in order to make videos on YouTube. That's a really long, really long-winded way of saying that pressure that I was putting on myself, compounded with just like the stress from getting sick and just some personal things going on, all contributed to being in a reading slump. There was a while where I just like couldn't pick up a book. I would try and I just would read a couple of words and I'd be like, I don't really feel like reading, but I feel ready to come back to reading and to just take it at my own pace and to just have fun with it again. So with that being said, I did finish 2 books in the last couple of months. So the last book that I finished was Bunny, and it feels like ages ago, but I remember reading that book and just thinking to myself, like, what the heck just happened? So Bunny is a dark satire and it follows the story of Samantha. So Samantha is a graduate student at a really prestigious university for writing, and in her cohort there are these 4 women who are very peculiar. They are very cliquey, almost culty, and they call each other bunnies. One day, Samantha is invited to hang out with the bunnies, and it kind of reminds me of like Mean Girls, you know, when Regina George invites Katie to come sit with them. You can't sit with us! Samantha finds out that the bunnies are doing some really strange and gross experiments, and they're actually kind of horrific, but I don't want to get too into it, so I don't spoil anything for you guys in case you do want to read this book. At first, reading this, I wasn't sure if I liked it. I just felt really confused reading it. Samantha is a very unreliable narrator, and the author does a really great job of making you question what is real versus what isn't real. And I think I had a really hard time with her character initially because she's just kind of unlikable in my opinion. She kind of has this like, I'm different and I'm like so much better than you sort of attitude, which I think really highlights the themes that Mona Awad talks about in this book, which is examining female friendships and the intimacy that goes on within those friendships, but also the rivalry and the competition. So this book really felt like Mean Girls, and I didn't read the book Queen Bees and Wannabes, but I did watch the movie, and that is one of my all-time favorite movies. That movie is just so fetch. But over time, I started to feel more and more compassion for Samantha because I feel like she was a product of her environment. So she was isolated from her family, and she was also in this really intense environment where your work is getting scrutinized by other people. And I feel like throughout the book you can really get a sense of Samantha's diminishing self-worth, and I just can't imagine being in that situation where, you know, you show up and you're just trying to do your best and people are just critiquing you left and right, critiquing your work and your art. So the more that I sat with the book, the more that I appreciated the writing, and I went back and reread some parts that I was initially confused about and tried to understand it in the larger context of the book. I think you'll like this book if you like gothic fiction, if you like really like moody, atmospheric, dark academia settings and satire. I will say that it was a very unique read. It was one of those books where I just kept wanting to read on, even though I had no idea what was happening. Like I said in my last video, it was like a car crash that you couldn't stop looking at. And so I will give it 3.75, 4 stars for that alone. So the next book that I finished reading is Dragon Fruit. This is actually my very first buddy read that I'm doing with my friend Rochelle over at Goodmorningdreamer. I'll put her link in my description box if you want to check it out. And she has just been so gracious because I've needed to take some time off. We took a little bit longer to finish this, but I finally finished it. And honestly, I will say that I was a little bit let down. I think that overall I would give this 3.5 stars. I have talked about this book a lot, but I'll give you guys a quick little synopsis of it. So Dragon Fruit is a story about Hannah, who is exiled from her home, and meanwhile in her hometown, the crowned princess has actually fallen ill, and the only thing that can save her is dragon fruit, which is also known as dragon eggs. So Hannah returns to her home and she teams up with Prince Sam to find these elusive dragon eggs so that they can save the kingdom. I appreciated the representation of Pacific Islanders in YA fantasy. I really loved the world and I really liked learning about the lore. And I did like Hannah. I think that she was a very brave heroine, somebody that you could look up to. But I just feel like it could have been done better. The plot, I think, was pretty predictable, and there was also some pacing issues, I felt. There were some parts that just kind of like dragged on, and I did resonate with some of the themes in this book of community, heritage, family, and how important that is. It was a very central part of the story and Hannah's character, this idea of home, what makes a home, and what you do for your family and for your community. So even though Hannah Leigh was exiled for a long time before she came back, when she returned, there was still that strong sense of community and care for one another, which I really appreciated. And I think that's where this book really shines, when it talks about those themes, something that I can really relate to. Being Filipino American, family is a very big part of our culture, and so I could relate to that. I also feel like the writing was just very simple. I don't know how to describe it. I mean, I know it's YA, so I feel like if I read this, if I was like in, I don't know, like middle school or high school, I would have really, really loved it. But maybe because I'm like in my 30s now, I just needed a little more complexity and depth than this book gave. But that's just my opinion. So not my favorite book of the year, but not bad. Could have been better. So this is the book that I'm currently reading. This is A Funny Story by Emily Henry. And I read Happy Place by Emily Henry like a couple months ago, and I did enjoy that book. So even though I'm not a huge romance reader, anytime I feel like I just need something easy and lighthearted, I tend to go for romance or mystery. And so far, I'm really enjoying this story. I feel like it's a really good one to help me get out of a reading slump because it's easy to read, but the characters are very endearing. What I've been doing every night is just keeping this on my nightstand. And normally I would want to read for like, I don't know, 30 minutes or so, but lately I've just been making that easier for myself. So instead of 30 minutes, I've just been like, okay, just read for 5 minutes and see if you want to keep reading after that. And that's been really helpful because 5 minutes seems more doable than 30 minutes. But once I get started, I end up reading for longer anyway. If you are in a reading slump and you just can't really get yourself to read, maybe change your expectation a little bit. So instead of saying like, oh, I have to read a chapter today or I have to read for 30 minutes, you know, maybe just say, I'm gonna read for 5 minutes, or I'm just gonna read a page. And those little incremental habits over time will eventually get you to finish your book. I totally forgot to tell you guys what this book was about. Oh my gosh. It follows the story of Daphne, who is supposed to marry the love of her life, Peter, except Peter one day, seemingly out of the blue, tells her that he's actually in love with his childhood best friend named Petra. Peter Petra. I thought that was kind of funny. And so she's got nowhere to go. So she ends up moving in with Petra's ex-boyfriend, Miles, and they just become pretty unlikely friends, even though they're pretty different from each other. And that's pretty much the story. So I think I'm just gonna end it right here. Thank you guys so much for watching and for sticking around, being patient with me as I'm getting back into this whole YouTube filming thing. From now on, I do hope to post every week, but if I can't, then I'll let you guys know. If you liked today's video, then please like, comment, and consider subscribing to my channel. And if you're not sure what to comment, let me know if you've ever been in a reading slump and what helped you get out of it. I need all of the tips and the tricks that I can to help me get back into reading and out of this reading slump. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching and take care of yourselves because you deserve it. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.